I'm your huckleberry.
All right. Yeah, I spent the better part of like 45 minutes trying to go through this article from Slaying Evil that's actually trying to slag us and not doing a very good job. So far I've been called a bootlicking feminist. I've been called a leftist, a communist, a liberal. Well, everything but a simp. He didn't call me a simp. That's at least there's that. But I mean, I could go through and read all the crap that he actually put up there. But it comes down to this. He said the final battle is going to be between the leftist, feminist, black feminist sympathizers, which most black women aren't really feminists. They might think like that. They take advantage of feminist ideology, but they're not really feminists. The real feminists, they're the ones that have come out of school and actually sit next to white men and white females. Big Booty Brenda is not a feminist. Okay, she is not a feminist. She takes advantage of it, but she's not a feminist, not by a long shot. In fact, that pattern, as you call feminist, that pattern has been there since slavery. In fact, the feminists try to pattern themselves after the dysfunctional matriarchy we call the black community, which never got fixed, intentionally never got fixed. And the thinking that the so-called thinking black men are going to fix it ain't going to happen, because the thinking black men hundreds of years ago couldn't fix it either. Yeah, that's right. The thinking black man, or the classic black man, is nothing new. In fact, they've been around. We call them the boule. Back then they called them the black bourgeoisie. Yes, they were there. You guys were back there way back in the day, except one thing. Back then you had to have the majority white blood, but now that we've integrated, so to speak, now you can be of any stripe, of any color, and become the black bourgeoisie, or the boule, or the talented 10th. This argument is not new. This argument is not new. In fact, that's where the dust up came up between me and Obsidian in the first place, because I was actually talking to another guy who is a black feminist, and admittedly so. I was actually having a debate with him, and Obsidian came up in the middle of it, talking about E. Franklin Frazier being an elitist, which he is, admittedly so. He was a black bourgeoisie, admittedly so. And for some reason, the thinking black man, as you put it, sir, don't like to think of themselves as elitists. You like to think of yourself as individual thinkers, not part of the mainstream, not fitting the stereotype. In other words, you're supposed to be good niggas in the eyes of white people, because you're not proving it to us. You want to prove I'm not like them, just like E. Franklin Frazier was saying. We called his own people savages. He'll call his own people primitive. Call his own people backwards. The same way you're trying to do it now. And what it really comes down to, the long and short of it, because this probably won't even be a long rant, because I can't even muster enough passion to really get at it, because basically long and short of it is he wants to integrate. You want to assimilate. You want to disappear into the white collective. You want to be part of the melting pot, which is far easier in the United States than it is actually in Great Britain. Because in Great Britain, they do track your lineage. Whereas in America, it's not as important. And you think just because, I think his name, was it William or is it Harry? I can't remember. I can't keep these cats straight. Harry married Meghan Markle, who is a mixed woman, because the Queen and the Crown needs to put the Commonwealth back together, and they need a chocolate face as the face of its efforts to put the Commonwealth back together, because they're dividing themselves from Europe, because Europe is doing what Europe does. Right after the Americans run out of money to hold it together, guess what Europe's going to do? It's going to break up. Well, anyway, that's another story. It's another video for another day. But you, sir, want to integrate. But you want to integrate without being shamed for it. Because you don't want to take that L. I was chased out of my neighborhood and I wasn't wanted, so I had to go over the fence and get with Becky or get with his Suling, wherever it is. Which back then, in fact, go back and check my video. I said, should educated lames leave the black community? And I said, you go where you're happy. If you're not accepted on this side, jump the fence and be over there and be good. But the thing is, what people like you and others like to do is throw rocks back on the other side. Nobody would even know who you were if you didn't come over. If you weren't throwing rocks back on the other side, then the people on the other side would not even know that you were around. Because there's tons of black athletes that have married white women that still come back and do good work in the community. They don't have no problem. They still come back and do things. They still accepted on this side of the community. They're all that good stuff. They still put jobs and other kind of stuff in the community. They have their little white, blue-eyed wife or whatever kind of wife or Filipino wife, and nobody gives them no goddamn problems. But because you weren't accepted or you weren't liked or whatever it is that your social issue that you felt that was going on, you want to jump the fence, say, oh, ha, 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 just like the swirlers, I got me a white man, or I got me this kind of man. I'm going to throw rocks back on the other side. So we get rid of the women talking about, most of the women talk about niggas ain't shit, which we really didn't do it. And I said that we didn't do it or couldn't do it. I said that the environment was going to get rid of all that, which it already started to. So no matter what we said or what we did on YouTube or in social media, didn't make a hill of beans because the environment was actually going to take care of that. So we got them quieted down because now they see what's going on. Now we got you guys, you got niggas like you talking about niggas ain't shit. And the black community ain't shit. Talk about Blackistan. Blackistan is the same shit that Crystal Karazin and Brooklyn Blue and Simone 5-6 and a whole bunch of the other black women talking that same crap. And we calling them fucking bed wenches. We can't call dudes bed wenches because they're not. They're coons. There's a difference between coons and bed wenches are actually see eye to eye a lot more than they think. In other words, they might be on the opposite sides of the black fence, but guess what? They still see eye to eye. Use the same language. Lakeisha, Big Booty Brenda, and Blackistan, Zombified Corpse, whatever it is, same language that, guess what, the swirlers and the niggas ain't shit community was actually doing. And the fact is, what you're going to find out is what the talented 10th of the black bourgeoisie and the mulattoes found out back 120 years ago, is that you got no place to go. Now, it took them 40 years to figure that out. Actually, it took them 50 years to figure that out. Yeah, Plessy versus Ferguson, they thought they could fight back and be accepted by their white forefathers. And they had a claim because they were part of the white community because their white forefathers sired them. And they found out, guess what? No, you go back in the black bin just like everybody else, which is really what you're afraid of. Not afraid of that you black people will not let you leave the black community because black people have no power to actually hold you or push you out. They don't have that kind of power. They ain't got that kind of jack. What you're afraid of is that you can't leave the black community. That's the problem with you, sir. That's the problem with a whole lot of you people talking about the black niggas ain't shit on this side, is that you can't leave. I said this earlier in a video. I think I said it to the women. You can jump the fence, you can change teams, but unlike white people, you can't change your jersey. You cannot change your jersey. Your jersey is still going to be the same color and you're going to stand out like a sore thumb trying to play for the same team with a different jersey. That's the problem that the Boule found out, that what they couldn't do. That's how come instead of trying to push away from the black community, they actually started trying to help it. Not because they really wanted to, it's because they had to. And that's what you're afraid of, is because you think you have to. But I'm gonna give you a tip. my dear black Limey, black wannabe Limey, let me give you a tip. You think you're being an individual. You think that you're doing something against white supremacy or against what white racists actually want. Because you want to think you're spitting in the face of your black folks that you claim are dysfunctional. You should know it out of all other people. What is the interracial marriage rate in Great Britain? It's over 50%. So in other words, 2 generations, what we call the black community in Great Britain, if they don't import it anymore, is going to disappear if the white folks allow it to disappear. Same thing in America. You're not fighting against white people. You're not fighting against white racialists. You're not doing something that's independent. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. Why do you think all these white interracial couples are popping up on commercials and on TV and TV shows? What do you think they're telling you? What do you think they're doing? Oh, they're trying to sing kumbaya to the black folks and let them know that they're accepted and it's okay and racism is over. I hope you're not that stupid. I hope you're not that stupid. I'm not quite sure whether you are or not. Because any thinking black man, any intelligent black man, any intellectual person, period, we're not trying to be judging the interpersonal lives of a community he's never lived in, grow up in, and has no experience in. Trying to say that I'm a socialist, I'm a communist, I'm a leftist, I'm a liberal, of which I am neither. Because you wouldn't really know a real liberal or a real leftist if you walked over them. Because the fact is, bruh, you're a liberal and you don't know it. There's only 2 kinds of people in the world, 2 kinds of societies in the world, authoritarian and liberal. Liberal is a very small part of the world, extremely small part. The vast majorities of the countries in the world are authoritarian. Even though they put a democratic tag on it, they're an authoritarian country, authoritarian society. Which is a safer place, Tokyo or London? Which is more liberal, London or Tokyo or Beijing? Which one? I've done this exercise before. I've actually put this video up before about what is a liberal and what is a conservative. I will actually post the video link in my description so you can actually get educated on it, because evidently you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I read your whole piece and I kept saying, this dude don't know what the fuck he's talking about. You're trying to draw inference from a whole society from YouTube, which is something that I've encountered amongst a lot of Brits, especially a lot of female Brits. You're trying to draw an inference of what a society is like by the comment section on fucking YouTube, instead of bringing your black ass over here and actually living in the society. What's left of Blackistan is going to disappear any goddamn way. You don't have to leave Blackistan. Blackistan is going to leave. If you don't try to protect it, it's going to disappear anyway, because they're going to break it up. And then you're going to get pushed out into the white sectors. You're going to be broken up. If you think they're going to let a black enclave live, think again. If you think they're going to let a black enclave live outside of their control as independent, especially in the United States, think again. Like I say, being independent or being the top 10% or the bourgeoisie, as you would like to think of it, because the black bourgeoisie really don't ride with y'all. They don't ride with y'all at all. So basically, the little enclave that you're trying to pull together is not going to last very long. Now, you're welcome to leave, because last I heard, Pookie and Ray Ray, Big Booty Brenda, wasn't trying to stop you. If they were trying to stop you, they wouldn't have pushed you out in the first place, would they? Trying to get us to come back and do something. Ain't nobody trying to get you to come back. I'm saying, if you do care about the black community, if you do want to have a black community, you should come back and help and do something and try to be part of it. If not, then you should go kick rocks and leave. Go talk to the white racists and the white liberals about your issues. If you don't have none, then good for you. You found your Shangri-La, you found your peace. Go forth and sin no more. Stop throwing rocks back on this side of the fence. Especially if you're a goddamn Limey, a goddamn black wannabe Limey on the other side of the pond that has no clue about what the fuck you're talking about. Because I read your whole piece and everything you said, you were wrong. If you're gonna put my name in your mouth, at least know what the fuck you're talking about. If that is the case, sir, then I will be your Huckleberry. And the last few guys that I was their Huckleberry, it didn't work out too well for them because they don't put my name in their mouth anymore. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna jump off of here. This is my short rant. I hope it was short. It's BGS out, and I will see you guys on the next one.